In this video, we're going to take a look at energy storage lipids. Now, cells tend to store their energy in glycogen. Glycogen is those strings of glucose molecules, and that works pretty good except for brain cells. Brain cells just like feeding off of glucose. But another way that cells store energy is triacyl glycerols. Now, triacyl glycerols is what's stored in adipocytes or fat cells. And these are triesters. They're also called triglycerides. And it's a great way of storing a lot of energy into a small space. Now, the basic structure of these triacyl glycerols. So triacyl C-Y-L-G-L-Y-C. These triacyl glycerols is that what we're going to do is we're going to make an esterification reaction, and this is going to be an alcohol plus a carboxylic acid and this is going to give us an ester. And we're going to start out here I'm going to make like the rough outline here of a glycerol molecule, and that is it's got 3 carbons. Put some space here between like this, OH, OH, and OH. Okay, so this is glycerol. And glycerol is a triol in that we've got 3 hydroxyl groups on here. And we're going to react this with 3 fatty acids. So a fatty acid, if we remember from the previous video, looks like this. And we have a carbon chain coming off like that. Okay, and then I would just make 3 of these. Carbon. Just getting lazy with my zigzaggy lines here. Carbon, double bond O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop. Make sure we've got even numbers there. Okay, so here's my carboxylic acids or my fatty acids. Fatty acids. And we're going to combine these together. And when we do this, we're going to end up making our ester. So I'm just going to go like that there. We're going to combine these together and make an ester. So let's go with our carbon backbone here with our 3 carbons. Carbon, carbon like this here. Here's my 3 carbons. And then we're going to make an ester. So like this, like this. And maybe just for a little bit of review here, we should be looking at these here and go hydroxyl group, hydroxyl group. I just bet we're going to be removing water. I mean, just a guess here, right? We've seen this before. We just go like this, right? And we remove water like that, okay? So over on the other side here, we're going to end up with 3 waters. So I'm just going to go plus 3 waters like this, okay? And we're just going to combine these 3 fatty acids onto our glycerol. So 3 fatty acids onto the glycerol. We'll go here, blah, 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 and then like something like this. And something like that. Okay, so now all of these together, this is a triester of glycerol. So we have these ester linkages here. So right here we might recognize here's our carbon like this, our carbonyl group here, and then that oxygen, and then the carbon. This right here is an ester linkage. Ester linkage, and we've got 3 of them here, right? There's one here, and we've got one here, like that. So 3 of those ester linkages like that. And this is what gives us our triacyl glycerol. So triacyl glycerol, also called a triglyceride. Okay, and this is our energy storage molecule. Now we have simple and mixed triacyl glycerols. A simple triacyl glycerol is where these fatty acids are all the same. So if these fatty acids are the same, that would make it a simple triacyl glycerol. And if it was mixed, well, then we'd have a mixture here of different fatty acids. So what we're going to do here is just give a brief little explanation here of mixed and non-mixed here. Okay, so I'm going to say mixed or wait a minute, simple. Let me rephrase that here. Okay, let's go simple. Okay, so simple. Okay, so our simple triacyl glycerols. So triacyl glycerols. Okay, in a simple triacyl glycerol, then our fatty acids are the same. So I'll just say 3 fatty acids are the same. Okay, all 3 of these fatty acids are the same. It's a simple triacyl glycerol. And if it's a mixed triacyl glycerol, mixed triacyl glycerol, then our fatty acids are not the same. So not the same 3 fatty acids. Not the same 3 fatty acids would make it mixed. Now in our mixed triacyl glycerols, we have a couple of different types here. We have fats and oils. So I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to call these here fats, and we have oils. All right, fats and oils. And what makes a fat, and what makes an oil, right? If it comes out of the ground, it's an oil, right? And if it comes, no. So oils are triacyl glycerols that are liquids at room temperature. So I'm just going to say here liquid at room temp. Okay, and then my fats are going to be solids or semi-solids. I'll say semi-solids at room temperature. Okay, and where do these things come from? So primarily our fats come from animal sources. So animals, and then our oils generally come from plants. Now that's not always true, because we do have some oils that are more solid at room temperature, and we have some fats here that they come from plants. Okay, and so an example of this here might be like avocado oil. Avocado oil is a plant sourced triacyl glycerol, and it's a fat, and it's a solid at room temperature. And so sometimes we talk about good fats and we talk about bad fats. And generally speaking now, our oils and such are good fats, and our solid here tend to be the bad fats, generally. And there's some nuance on this here. Okay, and so bad fats here, they tend to be saturated fats. saturated fats, and then our oils tend to be mono and poly unsaturated. Here, as we take a look at this table here, here's a source of different types of dietary oils and fats. Like we've got canola oil up here on the top, and we've got coconut oil down here on the bottom. And then here we've got, in the different colors here, the breakup of saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated. So in the yellow on the left here, that's saturated. In the middle is monounsaturated. And on the right, and kind of in the pinkish color there, is our polyunsaturated. And you look down at the very bottom there, you see coconut oil. Coconut oil is, wow, that is really got a lot of saturated fat in there. It's right there. It's got more saturated fat than pork and beef and butter. And so coconut oil is really, it's not that good for you. Man, as much as they like to sell this stuff to you, it's not all that good for you. And then if we take a look at our monounsaturated fats, these tend to be the fats that we think of as being our good fats. So as we take a look at our monounsaturated fats, things such as our avocado oil and our olive oil, these tend to be what we think of as our good fats. And so they've seen a correlation to people that eat or consume a lot of these tend to have lower risk of cardiovascular disease. And then we have our polyunsaturated fats, and these ones, again, are not quite so good for us, relatively speaking. And so if we take a look at like our safflower oil and sunflower oil, our corn oil, and cottonseed oil, see these oils have a lot of polyunsaturated fats in them, and so these ones, relatively speaking, are not so good for you. So if you're looking for good fats, like the good healthy fats, you look for those omega-3s from fish sources, and then you also take a look at like your olive oil and then your avocado oil. Those are like your good fats. And then the other fats, well, you try to stick to plant sources, but you can see there's a big difference here in our plant sources. Like coconut oil, not so good as compared to, say, maybe corn oil, and definitely olive oil.